What's going on? It is Friday, which means I am going to talk about some of the comics that I am super excited to read next week. As always, make sure you stick through the intro and then we'll get to these books. My most anticipated comics for August 17th, 2022. So I think I mentioned it in a few of my other videos, but if you have not watched those and you are just here, I am currently away from home. So I pre-recorded this way early in advance. But as always, I like to mention that I use League of Comic Geeks to figure out what books I'm going to add to this list when they come out. Sometimes they're not always right. There are delays. There have been paper shortages. So if you get to your shop and you're wondering, why isn't this book here? Maybe that's the reason why. But also you can use this site as a good resource to figure out what you want to read. So now that we got that disclaimer over, once again, this is probably going to be the shortest version of this because I am just trying to make sure that I can get this video out to you before I leave. I'm going to start it off with a book that I really haven't talked that much about, but I'm going to talk about it now, and that is Hulk number 8. This is the finale of the Banner of War story. This story hasn't been like phenomenal, but I've enjoyed it. Like, for the most part, a lot of people have criticized Donny Cates as Hulk, and while maybe I get that, I think, it's really hard because you had this legendary run like Immortal Hulk, and I think what Donny Cates has done has been kind of fun. It's been interesting. It's been different. This run is definitely not prolific in any means, but it has been fun, and I think it's a new take on Hulk that at least I've never seen as a fairly new Hulk reader. And the next book up is going to be New Think number 3. This is from AWA Upshot Studios with writer Greg Horowitz and artist Kieran Grant. The thing that I like about this book has kind of been Black Mirror style book. It is similar to Silver Coin, maybe a little bit more or less horror based and a little bit more just generalized storytelling, but this is kind of the opposite of Silver Coin, where the author remains the same but the artist changes in every issue. I've really enjoyed the first two. This is a book that you can probably just pick up single issues, read, and be done. I'm normally not a huge fan of like anthology style stuff, but I think for this one, this is a good example of something that is done well in that style. And now we are on to the number 1. So the first one is Batman One Bad Day, The Riddler number 1. This is from one of my favorite writers, Tom King, and he is working with, I think, one of the best artists that he works with in Mitch Gerads. Tom King gets a lot of the best artists, but him and Mitch Gerads just does something a little bit fun that I've always enjoyed. This is an extra large issue, and it is a one-shot, and they just kind of go over, the Riddler in this one. I'm excited to see it. I usually say that I do not buy more Batman books that are not Batman or Detective Comics, but if Tom King is writing them, I'm a sucker for Tom King, so I am going to grab it. The next book is IDW Publishing, and it is called True Cult number 1. I don't remember a lot about this, but the writer is Brian Scott Wilson. The artist is Lena Kangas. The thing I remember is that when this was on Kickstarter, so many people were talking about this on like Twitter and Instagram, and I ended up just not getting it. I don't even know why, but I think they sold it as like a heavy metal fast food murder mystery. At least I think that's how they said it on the Kickstarter. I could be wrong. You can go find that video if you don't believe me or you think I'm doing it not justice. But I think this seems like it could be pretty fun. I remember a lot of people loving it. So why wouldn't I want to just jump on this when I can get it in an easily available area? And the final book, this is a book that I think has actually made the list before, but it ended up getting pushed back. It was on a different publisher. Now it's going to be on a Wave Blue World Inc., and that is Crash and Troy number 1. This is from writer Jared Lujan and artist Kyler Clodfelter. This is a very fun book. It's kind of about these two guys that end up getting arrested, and then they're told to kind of pull out this one thing, this one mission to get out of jail free. It's got some witty banter. It's pretty funny, and it's kind of, that 80s buddy cop movie that everyone needs. I remember one of the characters was a huge fan of Meryl Streep, which I thought was pretty funny. I've already read this book, but it has been almost a year maybe since I read the review copy of it. And yeah, I think if you follow Jared on Kickstarter, I think he actually sent some of these copies out. So I do have one of this book from a different publisher, which is kind of comical. But hey, it is an awesome book, and Jared is an awesome dude. And I think you should check this book out, especially if you are a fan of the Wu-Tang Clan. But once again, those are the books that I am talking about this week. But I want to know, what are you most excited for? It could be a cover, it could be just a book that you love, or it could be something new that you think I missed and I would maybe like. Let me know down below. I love talking to people about comics. That's kind of why I started doing this, to bring that back. So if you have any recommendations for me, please let me know. If you think any of these books sound cool, make sure to check them out too. I really don't read a lot of the blurbs for this stuff, so if that's something that you like, I highly recommend going to League of Comic Geeks. You can be able to check them out and make sure that what I'm spitting out sounds good to you. As always, I've been Cole. Thank you for watching, and peace. My most anticipated comics for August 17th, 2022.